The hangar smelled of fuel and doubt, and Sarah knew most of it was aimed at her. The late afternoon sun slanted through high windows, painting the polished floor in streaks of gold. Mechanics moved like shadows. Voices clipped, every step precise. Somewhere behind her, boots echoed heavier, slower, more deliberate. General Aaron Harlow. He stopped near the nose of her jet, eyes scanning the fuselage before settling on her. His smile was thin, calculated, and far colder than any words he might have spoken. "Still wet behind the ears," he said, quietly enough to sting but loud enough for the crew to hear. A few chuckles followed. Sarah forced herself not to flinch, adjusting the strap on her helmet as though it were armor. Captain David Reyes, Falcon, appeared at her side, his smirk a shield against the general's barbs. "Ignore him, Rook. First flights are always heavy. You'll carry it fine." His tone was easy, reassuring, but she heard the weight of experience underneath. He had flown combat sorties before. She was still trying to breathe steady through the flight suit. She nodded once, trying to match his confidence. The canopy lowered, sealing her inside the cockpit. Suddenly, the hangar noise was muted. The world narrowed to HUD symbols and the thrum of turbines spooling to life. Her hands trembled slightly on the stick. "Rook, Falcon, form up on my wing. We're clear for takeoff," Reyes said, voice steady in her headset. "Copy, Falcon," she answered, hoping her voice didn't betray the tremor running through her chest. The jets rolled out of the hangar and onto the glowing strip of runway. Golden light caught the edges of their wings as they roared into the sky. Climbing, banking east, Sarah forced herself into formation, eyes flicking between instruments and the faint silhouette of Falcon's jet just ahead. From the operations center, Harlow's voice pressed into her ears. "Iron Hand here. Rook, you're flying sloppy. Keep your spacing tight. Don't make me regret clearing you." She swallowed, pressing the jet closer, wings quivering in the wake of Falcon's steadier flight. The air was clear, the horizon sharp against the descending sun. Yet every second felt like a test she was failing. "Scope to Iron Hand," came another voice. "Pike, the radar operator. All screens clear, training profile underway." "Copy that," Reyes said, smooth as always. "Rook, breathe. We're just stretching wings." She nodded, though no one could see it. Each correction of the stick sent sweat down her spine. The exercise was meant to be simple. Patrol, intercept a drone simulating a hostile, return. But her heartbeat suggested otherwise. Minutes passed, the rhythm of comm chatter steady. Altitudes, headings, fuel checks. She clung to every word, trying to sound like she belonged. Then Scope's voice cracked the routine. "Iron Hand, we've got something. Unidentified contact bearing 080, 20 clicks east, vectoring in fast." Sarah froze, staring at her scope. A single blip pulsed on the edge of range, moving far quicker than any drone should. "Say again, Scope," Harlow demanded, sharp. "Unidentified bogey confirmed. Speed increasing, not squawking friendly. 20 clicks and closing." Her pulse spiked. This wasn't in the briefing. She shifted in her seat, the straps suddenly too tight, the cockpit too small. "Falcon, Iron Hand, take Rook and investigate," Harlow ordered. His voice carried no doubt, no pause, only the chill weight of command. "Copy, Iron Hand. Rook, form on me," Reyes said, his tone harder now, stripped of comfort. Sarah's throat went dry. "Copy, Falcon." The sky seemed to change with the order. The golden calm of sunset sharpened into steel. She adjusted throttle, sliding into position off Falcon's wing. Her radar screen flickered with the distant contact, each pulse louder in her mind. Reyes's voice came again. "Eyes up, Rook. We'll see what kind of bird this is. Keep your spacing and trust your instruments." She tried to steady her breathing, but the weight of Harlow's smile pressed against her memory. Still wet behind the ears. Still unproven. She wanted to answer with more than words. She wanted to fly true. The contact moved closer, its signature larger, faster, not aligning with anything she recognized from the manual. Scope, Falcon. Range? 15 clicks and closing fast. Bearing steady. This isn't one of ours. Harlow's voice returned, clipped and cold. Stay sharp. Weapons tight until we know what it is. But don't hesitate if you're threatened. Copy? Copy, Iron Hand, Reyes replied. Sarah's mouth was dry. Her finger hovered near the weapons switch, sweat slicking her gloves. She wasn't sure if it was nerves or instinct, but her entire body told her this was no exercise anymore. The horizon stretched endless, the sun sinking low. She tried to lock her breathing to the rhythm of the engine, to the hum of the instruments, to Falcon's steady voice ahead. Almost in range, he said. Rook, keep your eyes open. This might get interesting. And then, through the quiet hum of the headset, the radar blip sharpened again. Bigger, faster, undeniable. Sarah's heart thudded as the call went out, the words slicing clean through the tension. Unidentified bogey, 20 clicks east, vectoring in fast. She had no way of knowing it was only the beginning. The sky had gone quiet, too quiet, until a ghost spoke. Sarah Keller tightened her grip on the throttle, eyes darting between the HUD and the silhouette of Falcon's jet ahead. The unidentified contact was closing faster than expected, its signal pulsing harder on her scope with every second. She felt sweat bead along her neck under the helmet. The rhythm of her breathing was shallow, quick, refusing to slow even when she tried to force it. Rook, keep formation, Reyes said, voice calm, controlled. He sounded like the sky was his natural element, like nothing could rattle him. Don't overcorrect, just stay on my wing. Copy, Falcon, she answered, but the strain in her voice betrayed her. Her jet wobbled a fraction, nose dipping before she caught it. She imagined General Harlow back in the ops room, arms crossed, waiting for her to fail. Scope to Iron Hand, Pike's voice cut in, tight with unease. Bogey closing. Range now 12 clicks, bearing steady. Sarah's eyes flicked to the radar. The dot had split. 2 signatures now, fast and deliberate, sliding into a pincer. Confirm, Scope, Harlow snapped. 2 unknowns? Confirmed. 2 bandits. Speed high, altitude 20,000. They're coming straight at Falcon and Rook. Her stomach dropped. This wasn't the training drone scenario she'd prepared for. This was something else, something real. Falcon to Rook, Reyes said sharply. We're going to intercept. Stay close, and when I call break, you break. No hesitation. She forced herself to answer. Copy. They closed the distance, contrails slicing across the golden sky. Sarah's jet vibrated faintly as she adjusted throttle to keep pace. Her mouth was dry, hands slick in her gloves. She had practiced maneuvers 100 times in the simulator, but nothing in the sim had ever made her heart hammer like this. Bandits 2 o'clock high, range 3 miles, Scope announced. Eyes on, Reyes replied. Iron Hand, we're visual. Copy, Harlow said. Weapons tight until I give the word. His tone was steady, but Sarah imagined his eyes narrowing, watching her every move. The 2 unknowns swung wide, speed blistering. Her radar screamed a proximity warning, tone rising in her ears. Sarah's pulse matched it, racing. Then it came. A new voice across the net, rough with static but clear, commanding, undeniable. This is Widow Mark, break left, now. The words froze Sarah in place. Widow Mark. The call sign was legend, a name whispered in briefings about pilots long gone, about missions that had become stories told in low voices. Widow Mark had been dead for years. Yet the voice rang in her headset, sharp as steel. Rook, hold formation, Harlow barked. Do not listen to that channel interference. Sarah's chest tightened. She stared at the HUD, the radar, the climbing signatures of the bandits pressing closer. And then, instinct cut through fear. She slammed the stick left, banking hard. Her jet screamed as G-forces shoved her deep into the seat, lungs burning as she dragged air in short gasps. Alarms flashed across her display. The tone of a missile lock flickered, then cut off. She had broken free just in time. Falcon's voice snapped in, startled. "Rook, what the hell?" He cut off as one of the bandits flashed through the airspace his jet had just occupied. A missile had streaked past, empty sky where Falcon would have been. For a moment, silence filled the comms. Then Reyes again, voice low, shaken but alive. "Iron Hand. Widow Mark just saved us." "Falcon, do not indulge this nonsense," Harlow thundered. "There is no Widow Mark. Rook disobeyed orders. She's reckless. She—" "Falcon," Sarah said, her voice steadier than she expected. "You saw it. You'd be gone if I hadn't turned." Another pause, then Reyes spoke, more carefully this time. "Copy, Rook. I saw it." Scope broke in, nervous. "Bandits still circling. They're testing us, Iron Hand. They're not gone." Sarah's hands trembled, but her eyes were fixed now. The fear hadn't left her, but it had shifted into something else. Resolve. She had trusted the impossible, and it had kept Falcon alive. Whatever the general thought, whatever doubt weighed on her, that voice had cut through it. "Rook," Reyes said quietly, switching to squadron comms. "Stay with me. And trust your gut. You earned that call." The radar screen pulsed again. The bandits angled back toward them, hungry for another pass. Her heartbeat quickened, but this time she leaned into the stick with a steadier hand. Far behind, in the ops room, Harlow's voice hissed over comms. "Ignore that ghost. Do you hear me? Widow Mark is dead. Do not follow phantoms." But Sarah's gaze stayed locked on the horizon, the echo of that voice lingering in her mind. The ghost had spoken once. She knew it would speak again, and when it did, she intended to listen. Her hands stopped trembling the moment she heard the ghost whisper again. The sun was sinking low, streaking the horizon in molten orange, contrails slashing the sky in jagged arcs. Lieutenant Sarah Keller sat locked into her harness, every nerve alive, her fingers steady at last as if something greater than herself had taken hold. To her right, Reyes, call sign Falcon, was already pushing his jet into a hard climb, the bandits circling closer, hunting them like wolves. Behind them, the ops room bristled with voices and orders, but Sarah could only hear one thing, the spectral clarity of a dead man's voice on the open channel. "Brake now. Roll hard left. Trust it." She didn't question. She pulled the stick, the jet lurching into a split S. The G-force crushed her chest, ribs straining against the harness. Alarms wailed in her headset, missile lock tones shrill and rising, but the seeker head lost her, streaking past into empty sky. Falcon dove behind her, shaken but alive. "Bandit, 2 o'clock high, range 3 miles, Reyes called, his tone taut. "Rook, Titan formation." "I've got him," Sarah answered, though her heart hammered so loud she thought the mic would catch it. Scope's voice cut in from the ground, urgent. "Rook, Falcon, Iron Hand. Multiple contacts confirmed. 2 hostiles, fast movers, Angels 15. "Copy Iron Hand," Reyes said, leveling out. Falcon taking lead. But Sarah barely heard him. In the hiss of static came the whisper again, calm and unwavering. "Roll out. Set your nose 5 degrees higher. They'll undershoot." Her breath steadied. She obeyed, nose up, throttle forward. The bandit slashed past beneath her canopy, just as the voice had said. General Harlow's tone erupted over command frequency. "Ignore that nonsense. There is no Widow Mark. Maintain standard intercept pattern. That's an order." Sarah bit her lip, refusing to answer. Reyes hesitated, torn, then spoke low on squadron comm. "Rook, stay with me. We're not dead yet." They banked into a defensive weave, engines screaming. The sky was chaos, flashes of silver, red warning lights dancing on HUDs, every second an eternity. The enemy jets were faster, sharper, lunging in and out of their cones. Sarah's training said she couldn't win. But the voice returned, guiding her through maneuvers she'd only studied in old debriefs. Cut, throttle. Now, let him overshoot. She pulled back. The sudden deceleration pressed her forward in the seat, lungs heaving, but the bandit streaked ahead of her nose. Her thumb tightened on the trigger, hood tone steady. She fired. The 30mm cannon roared, rounds stitching across the sky. One burst found its mark. The hostile jet erupted, fire blooming against the fading sun. "Splash one," she whispered, then louder, voice clear, almost disbelieving. "Splash one, bandit." Ops went silent for half a heartbeat. Even Scope's calm professionalism broke into awe. "Confirmed kill. Rook scored direct. Splash one hostile." Falcon's voice cracked with a laugh that was half relief, half reverence. "Hell, Keller, you just saved my skin." Sarah's chest heaved, her body trembling from the G-loads and adrenaline, but she wasn't afraid anymore. The silence on comm stretched until only the ghost remained. "Legacy isn't given," the voice said, quiet but sharp as steel. "It's flown." Her throat tightened. She wanted to answer, to ask what it meant, to beg for more. But static swallowed the words. Widow Mark was gone. Ops finally stirred again. Reyes muttered something soft in her ear. Scope confirmed remaining bogies breaking off, retreating east. Iron Hand's tone carried disbelief. "Rook, return to base. Mission concluded." Sarah banked toward the setting sun, contrails curling behind her like scars across the sky. She dared a glance at Falcon off her wing, his jet battered but flying strong. For the first time, she felt like his equal. Back in the control room, General Harlow stood motionless, lips pressed thin, eyes unreadable. For once, no mockery touched his face, only a pale silence and the smallest nod. Sarah exhaled, the weight of the headset pressing on her temples, her body aching from strain. But inside, the doubt was gone. She had flown with the dead and survived. She had earned her place in the sky. And, in the quiet that followed, all she could think was that this wasn't an ending. It was the first line of her true story.